found my hope when it was lost. When it was lost, I helped my heart out of the dark, out of the dark. I found the power, a brand new day, a brand new day. I found the power, a brand new day, a brand new day. There is a love I only know, I only know. I found the strength to let her go, to let her go. I found the power, as you can see, them no believe. Girl, you can forward, come there with me, living lavishly.
All right. Hello, 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 and welcome, everyone. Very welcome to you all. Good morning, good day, good afternoon, wherever you're joining in from. And it's a great feeling having you all here, especially this, not just the new week, not just Monday, but this on this special occasion of the kickoff of your new track and final lap or final dance. I am sure you're like excited to have come this far. Only last week we were, talking to you and we were, getting feedback from you on what the journey has been so far. And hey, look at us now. We're here the final dance, the final lap, the last lap of it, the lap where we get to, do that final sprint to get to the finish line. And if you're excited to be here, remember, not every one of you started from the data analytics tracker here today. So yeah, if you're excited to be here, please drop some thumbs up in the chat. Let us know how excited you are having made it to this very final sprint, this last lap of it, right? And more importantly, a very, 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 very special shout out to all of our data engineering learners here today. And I'll tell you why that's a special shout out, right? So all this while we've been having the machine learning track, we've been having, we've been having people graduate from the data science specialization. But guess what? We haven't had that for data engineering. And this, your cohort, is a very special cohort, very special class class, as a matter of fact, is that first cohort where we get to have the data engineering specialization, right? Where you get to have a shot, or some of you get to have a shot or a chance to, graduate to the data engineering certificate. So yeah, I'm very sure you're like excited, especially our data engineering learners, being the pioneers of this very specialization. And yeah, looking forward to how that goes. Welcome again to you all. And yeah, I see your thumbs up. So I guess you're like excited to be here. Big congrats for being here, by the way. It's no small feat. It's definitely no small feat. All right, without further ado, I'm just going to move it on to our agenda for today. So first, we're going to, of course, like you already know how we, do our things here. We're gonna have a little bit of icebreaker to just, know what's going on through your heads and just kind of like relax the nerves. Even I am nervy kind of, so I would need that time to, just relax a bit. So yeah, we're gonna have icebreakers. Then we would have a deep dive. We'll go right into it with first the machine learning track deep dive. right? Where we get to understand what the machine learning track really is about, what it offers, and a snapshot of what the entire machine learning track journey is going to look like, right? Thereafter, we would have the data engineering track deep dive, the first of its kind, by the way. Again, special cohort, special track. So yeah, we're gonna have the data engineering track deep dive where we again get to understand what the DE track is really about, what the journey from day one would look like, and how you get to the finish point of it. Then we would have a quick walkthrough on how to opt in for either of these tracks, considering where you are today, and by where you are today, I mean considering the fact that you have successfully completed the Python track. Because guess what? You won't be able to do this opting in if you weren't successful in the Python track. So we will be showing you what the next step is with regards that now that you have Python checked for you, how do you then go into the ML and DE tracks? All right. Thereafter, we will then take your questions because we, of course, know that you would have questions for us. So yeah, we take your questions and try as much as possible to answer every one of them if time permits us. And then lastly, we'll give you final words, closing, and we wrap it up. Right. That said, our icebreaker for today is what is your ultimate goal in this new track? That's whether you're in the machine learning track or the data engineering track. What is that ultimate goal? What is that ultimate thing you hope to achieve at the end of this track? Keep in mind, it could be something as simple as, oh, I want to be able to complete my assessments, every assessment as of when due. Perhaps in the Python track, you had some lag, and you can just make yourself a simple goal like, I want to be able to complete assessments and not have that lag this time around. Or something even more, very simple. Doesn't have to be some big goal like I want to be able to build the next AI, what's it called now? The next chat GPT, right? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it would be great to see one of us is able to have that as a goal and accomplish it. But yeah, tell us in the chat what your ultimate goal is in this track, data engineering track, machine learning track. What do you want to be able to achieve by the end of it? Is it to build cool projects? Is it to impress your future team or future employers? Or just, kind of like be a show off and, let's show off the skills you learn at the end of it. All right, I'm just going to see what we have here. ML is still deemed in the learning. Oops. All right, I see an interesting one. Become a great data engineer. Awesome. Build cool projects. Awesome. Onboarding to ML together with great build cool projects. Again, I see a lot of people are really looking forward to building projects. And I love the one of becoming a great data engineer. Trust me, that's something we are rooting for you for, and that's why we are here to help you achieve that, or get on the path to achieving that. Right, to build a full case study that can land me a new role. I love that. That's coming from Excel. That's a very detailed and comprehensive goal. The outcomes are measurable and clear. So yeah, I love that. To be prepared for a successful entry into the data science industry, another great one. Imagine token pressure. Okay. ML is still deemed in the learning page, not available. We'll get to that. To be able to learn without missing classes. I love this. And I love this because as simple as it is, it's a very clear goal that could be very impactful, right? And yeah, Sharon, thanks for sharing that. It's gonna build some cool projects and show off. Okay, this is a show off. We see you, Yolani. All right, again to build projects. So the build projects have it, I guess. But yeah, cool to see you all, anticipating getting to that point where you're able to, build end-to-end machine learning projects. And we definitely will be rooting for you on that. And guess what, guys? We actually have a special event where you'll be able to show up. For those who want to show up, we would have an upcoming event down the line as you progress in this track where you'll be able to, do all that show off the project, the cool project you have built, and we would also be able to give you feedback on that. And just maybe you may be rewarded or awarded or recognized for the cool project you built. So stay tuned for that. More information on that will come to you in due time. That said, for want of time, we're just gonna move it on. But I see your comments, I see your chats, and it's interesting to see the enthusiasm with which you're approaching this new track. Cool, cool, cool. Right. So as we move on, like I already said, we're going to start with the machine learning deep dive, and it is none other but an erudite scholar, an erudite teacher, someone who has actually not just taught within virtual classrooms, but also in physical classrooms. For those who do not know, our facilitator for this deep dive is someone who has actually been in those classrooms as a lecturer, and so you bet he's gonna come and give us those lecturer vibes, but still with a lot of sarcasm. I love listening to him because he just knows how to drop in sorts of sarcasms here and there. And I'm sure, having said that, you already can guess who it is. Yeah, it's not other than Buhari Shehu. Please, if you're happy to have him come up here, let's see some love in the chats as we welcome Buhari. Buhari, over to you.
All right, all right. Thank you, Uba. Thank you all for joining. And I was interested in all the chat I'm seeing. I'm seeing somebody like Rufaro saying, Rufaro will be our first machine teacher, right? So we have machine learning, but Rufaro will be our first machine teacher. Why am I saying so? Because I see him greeting us using different languages. So, and in machine learning, you also learn how to how to teach the machine how to understand languages. So I think Rufaro will be good for that. And yes, I also see some of you, although Rufaro, I call him machine teacher, but I also see that in the chat he is saying he want to be a data engineer. So I will just be keen to see how that goes. So having said that, I also see some of you are also mentioning you are tired of Majin Dogo. Do you care to share why you are tired of that story? I just want to learn because like we constantly interact with the people that are creating this content, so we can relay those messages to them so that even not for this particular set, maybe subsequent ones, we'll see how that goes. Now, before we go further, I would just like to understand what comes to your mind whenever you hear the word machine learning.
All right. John, can you confirm you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly.
All right. Okay, guys. So Buhari's network is not networking right now. So we're just gonna hold the fort for him while he gets back. Okay, I see Buhari's back. All right, cool, Buhari, back to you.
I don't know why my village people try to like test my patience whenever I'm doing something like this, but nonetheless. All right, so what comes to your mind whenever you hear the words machine learning? So please, can you help us in the chat? Oh, Shara is saying, okay, algorithms, AI, very hard things. Okay. And funny enough, okay, we'll see how that goes. Okay, Gabriel is saying machine learning, the first thing that comes to mind is training the computer to think like a human. Exactly, most especially when you are talking about AI. All right, Timothy, I would say is saying AI. Definitely, machine learning is part of AI, right? The Linda is saying machine learning is a branch of artificial intelligence that focuses on developing models and algorithms that let computers learn from data. Perfect, perfect. Relish ability of machines to learn from data without being explicitly programmed. Exactly. Okay. Yes, thank you, Shagun. Shagun is saying they will send AI nanobots to handle the village people. I will appreciate that. Please help me with these village people. A machine that can solve problems, learn, and adapt. Exactly. Maruf also saying, okay, that's by gift. Maruf saying we put the machine all possible criteria to be able to do. Okay, where's the chat? Okay, to be able to communicate correctly with a user. All right. Bruce is saying programming a computer to mimic human thinking process. Yes, thank you all for the responses, and I really appreciate. And now let's dive in. So, whenever you hear the word machine learning, as many of you have aptly captured, we are trying to teach machines, right? So we know that machines they are not beings with sense. They don't have senses. So because of that, but with the recent advent of computing, we are trying to say, okay, now, for example, if you have any program like the traditional softwares that we have, or the traditional programs that we have, if you want to send the machine to the market, you have to tell all the steps that that machine need to take to that market before the machine can execute that. So that's why they used to say garbage in, garbage out. All right. So, but we learned that there are some complex tasks that this kind of programming will not be good for them. For example, you want to teach machine to recognize an image of a cat, right? So you can have one cat that is upside down, the image is upside down. You can have one cat that is facing this, another image of cat facing that. You can have different breeds of cats, right? You can have different colors of cats. Maybe you can have different cats from different nationalities. So having one program that will be categorically explaining this will be almost impossible. So then the question is, can we teach the machine? Can we just give the machine the data and also the answer? That's in the case of supervised learning, so that the machine can come up with the right answer. So that is the concept of machine learning. And machine learning is a subset of AI. And we know that AI is trying to mimic human intelligence. So when you're talking about human intelligence, you have things like humans see things, right? So that is taken care of by computer vision. Then humans will also speak in languages. So that is taken care of by NLP, that's natural language processing. And one of the things that humans do is learning. So that is taken care of by machine learning. As humans, you also move. That is also taken care of by robotics. So the main aim is to have a system that will surpass human intelligence in all capabilities. That's the overarching goal, but for now, we are stick with machine learning. So this machine learning has a lot to do with human cognition, right? The cognitive abilities of humans. So we borrowed a lot from our human learning. Like as a student, for example, if you want to learn, maybe you need to enroll in a school. That's if you want to do formal learning. So when you enroll in that school, before they even give you admission, you may need to meet some requirements. Then after that, you go to classes, you attend classes, and From there, you have a teacher that will teach you. Then after he teach you, he will give you assessments. After the assessment, he will evaluate your assessment. Then he can certify that, okay, you are fit for for tackling current problems. So most of these things that I've mentioned, we are going to apply them directly in machine learning, right? So you have done your data analytics. Not only that, so your journey so far, you have done your data analytics and you have spent 15 plus weeks for that. Then you conquered Python. Many of you have captured Python alive, and I don't know how many of you have dealt with it, but maybe it may be two-way. The Python will deal with you and you deal with the Python. Yes, I remember during our retreat at Kenya, so part of the staff were wrapping pythons on their head, but me and Uber particularly, we were afraid of our village people, so we didn't do that. But the programmatic Python, yes, I enjoy capturing that one. And now then the machine learning. All right. So in machine learning, you also spend like 15 weeks. Then from machine learning, for those that will do data engineering, they also have 15 weeks to go and learn that, right? So we are here at the machine learning. Yes, I remember Oba said my village people are too active for me to test them with that. Exactly. All right. And here also for the data engineering. All right. So the data science life cycle, this data science of 18 is nothing but data analytics. Maybe I can call it advanced data analytics, right? So why am I saying this? Because when you are talking of analytics, you are trying to like use your microscope to look into the data and find the minute insights that are buried in your data. So you can do that with the historical data, trying to establish what happened in the past. Then with the machine learning, you are trying to see, okay, given this, what might happen in the future. So that's where you try to do what we call prediction. So all of these, they are data analytics, and everything, when you unwrap everything, you see that they are going back to statistics. All right. So based on this, and we all know that statistics is the science of data collection and analysis, right? So data science will also share a lot with statistics. Not only that, it will also borrow a lot from the scientific process. All right, so we know that the scientific process starts with observation, then all those processes. So after your observation, or whenever you are presented with a business problem, you will try to collect data about that problem, right? So whenever you get the problem, you try to ask yourself which data will help me to solve this problem. Then next you go to what we call data cleaning. So data inherently is dirty, right? Okay, so to demonstrate this, can somebody tell me what is the capital of okay, let me choose one particular country. What is the capital of the USA? Okay, should USA get okay, Peter is saying is it must to do ML to start DE? No, they are separate. So you will do them separately, right? All right, so you see, in typing this, your responses, some are saying Washington, D.C., the D.C. with small letter. Somebody is saying Washington, D.C. with capital letter. Somebody is saying Washington, D.C. There is a dot between the D and the C, all capital letter. Washington, DC, Washington, DC. So you see, some of you, your responses are the same. And there's also another response that the Washington start with small data. So you see that whenever you are collecting data, your data is bound to be having these inconsistencies, right? So these inconsistencies, like when to a human being, when you present this data to him, Washington, DC, however you spell it, he will be able to understand it. But in the case of machine, all those spellings that differ, they are different from the eyes of the machine, right? Okay, Joseph is saying, can one change from data engineering to data science? Okay, hopefully we'll get to this answer towards the end of this discussion. And also, Joseph is saying, can we do DE after ML? Of course, you can do it. All right. Yes, as Uber noted, please use the chat. Use the Q&A so that your question will not be buried in the chat. So because of these inconsistency is not the only thing. It's not the only issue that you experience with data. So some of the problems, you may have incorrect entries. For example, age that is negative. So that's a problem. So when your data is dirty, you need to clean it so that your analysis, your insights are accurate. Then after that, we do what we call exploratory data analysis. So this is a situation whereby, just as in the case of science, you come with an open mind. So when you come with an open mind, you'll ask the data to guide you, right? So you ask the data, okay, which product is the most popular? Which product is the least popular, for example? So the data will help you to answer these questions. So at the initial stage, you come with open mind, trying to find out what the data is trying to tell you. Then from there, you can create your stories, right? And another thing, like coming with open mind might not be 100% the case. You might come with what we call hypothesis. So if you have your hypothesis, then the exploratory data analysis will also help you with testing your hypothesis, right? Then from the beginning up to this exploratory data analysis, that is what we classify as data analytics. Then once you start building model, that's model building and model deployment, then we call this phase from the beginning down to model deployment, we call it data science, right? So that is model deployment. And for example, data engineers are responsible for collecting data and cleaning it, right? So sometimes data collection can be as simple as you sending a Google form, creating a survey to collect that data. And sometimes it can be as hard as you having to write data pipeline that will collect data maybe from APIs or from other data sources, or writing SQL queries, writing SQL, engineering SQL databases. So whenever the task is very enormous, like you need to do cloud computing, you need to do a lot of things before you get the data in the right format. Maybe you have big data, you have data warehouses, then data engineers, you will need the help of data engineers to achieve that. Then data analysts, yes, data analysts can also do data collection, cleaning, and exploratory data analysis. Then the model building and the deployment is for the machine learning engineers, right? Then the data scientists will do almost all. So although this diagram is showing this, there are some things that a data engineer can do that data scientists cannot do, right? Although data scientists can also collect data, it's not all types of data that a data scientist can collect, except if he has gotten the training of a data engineer. So Kayode will also speak more to this when he comes to handle that. All right. Okay, Rufaro is saying, do you advise going for both or focusing on one? I will advise you to focus on one. Then if you finish, you can go for the second one, because at least focus is key for your success, right? And this, the data engineering and the data science, they require a lot from you. So I advise you take one at a time. And when you finish, if there is need for the second one, then you go for it. All right. Juliet is saying, I thought either DE or DA or both, if your head can carry them. Okay, yes, it's either DE or DS. So you can either take the machine learning or you can take the DE. All right. So I will not advise you to take both of them. But yes. So does this make sense? Can we move further? Can we move ahead, or is there anything that I'm not doing justice to? All right, for those of you that are raising your hands, please use the Q&A. Your questions will be responded to. All right, thank you, Adil, for that. Yes. All right, so what is the machine learning workflow? Well, it's similar to what we have just finished explaining. You have the data collection, data cleaning and pre-processing, exploratory data analysis. Then here you do what we call the exploratory data analysis. All right. So there's difference between exploratory data analysis and explanatory data analysis. In terms of explanatory data analysis, you take the insights, then that's the interesting insights, then you wrap them in a story so that they can inform business decision. Then we also have the model building, the model evaluation and tuning. Then you have the model deployment and monitoring. So when you deploy the model, so what do you mean by model deployment? For example, ChatGPT, after training the model, they have to deploy it before you and me can use it. So that deployment is a task on its own. So this deployment will also require the help of sometimes the machine learning engineers, right? Or sometimes even the software engineers, or the machine learning, the data engineers, right? So then monitoring. So you believe with me that the ChatGPT that we know from early to 2023 is not the same with the ChatGPT that we have today. True or false? All right. Able to get that of the ChatGPT, they keep improving the model until they get the best, right? So what are some of the applications of machine learning? One, there are a lot. We have the web search and recommendation engines. We have the online fraud detection. We have the medical diagnosis, text and speech recognition. So, for example, you can talk to Siri and ask Siri to do a couple of things for you, and Siri can help you with that. And that's speech to text, right? The opposite is also true. So sometimes when you have text, you can ask Microsoft Word to speak the text aloud to you. So that is speech to text, right? Then also have email spam filtering. So this email spam filtering, you can imagine when a lot of people are spamming you with emails that you don't need, right? So in that case, what Gmail used to do, they have what they call spam filtering. So with the help of NLP and machine learning, you can achieve this kind of filter. Then image recognition. Okay, if I may ask, who can tell us one application of image recognition? Yes, Linda, it has really changed. All right. Yes, who can give us one application of image recognition? Okay, Farida is saying unlocking the phone. Exactly. So like whenever nowadays you can use your face to unlock your phone, right? So that's the security feature, all right? So like in some sophisticated security systems, they will even have to scan your iris to know whether you are the one or not. Yes, a lot of this. All right. Exactly. Like classification, that's good. Then OCR reader, exactly. So optical character recognition. So for example, you have text, handwritten text, and maybe you have one old organization that they have a lot of handwritten documents, and you want to digitize that organization. So you can use what we call OCR, that's the optical character recognition, to what? To transform that. So whenever you have any project that they want you to digitize their records, you can use the OCR. All right. Yes, I can see a lot of you responding, like farming pest detection. So I see in the chat, some of you are saying they want to create systems that will connect farmers to customers, and also like trying to help farmers to identify disease. So if you have that in mind, machine learning is for you. Yes, it can help you with pest detection or disease detection in plants, right? Yes, maize disease detections as said by Renish, right? Julius is saying for security purposes, yes, you can do that. And Adil is saying diagnosing disease with image recognition, e.g. X-ray, exactly. So like with this image recognition, you can, we can pass a label images to the model, and sometimes the model can do a good job of identifying some diseases. Maybe they can sometimes be 90% more efficient than human, all right? All right, for office authentication, right? I think many of you are experts in this, so you all know this application. So maybe what is left is just how you can use those machine learnings to achieve this. Yes, thank you all for responding. And you know what? I like this class because your response rate is excellent, right? So we also have the virtual personal assistants. We have automatic translation. Exactly. So this automatic translation is very good. So for example, nowadays, if you don't know one particular language, you can always ask these machines to help you translate. So I remember when I meet in Bali during our retreat, I asked her what is her language, and she told me. Then I request back to ChatGPT to help me translate what I want to say in her own language, and not only in Bali, I think even Irene, right? So with these machines, you can actually communicate in people's languages. All right. Oh, Salah is saying, in my case, I took the data science course because I'm creating an AI general agent drawing on my background as a developer to facilitate recurring tasks. I have already implemented the architecture and it works, but my goal is to avoid relying on external elements and instead use self-hosted elements like, okay, DeepSeek, improve them through training. I've implemented ALX. Man, you are advanced, but we would like to see what you come out with. All right. All right. Then we have traffic prediction, and we also have web search and recommendation engines. This by no means is not the exhaustive list, but the applications of machine learning. Why machine learning matters? Before I even answer this, can you use the chat to tell us why machine learning matters to you? Because to me, like all these applications that you mentioned, they are very interesting applications, like medical imaging analysis, content moderation, a lot of this. They're interesting things. Oh, Sharon, you say make life easier. Okay. Yes, definitely machine learning will make our life easier. Just imagine how ChatGPT is making the world the true global village, automating tasks, exactly, unlocking powerful insights. Thank you, Julius. Making it possible to predict the future. Okay, automate repetitive tasks. You get it. So all these are things are why machine learning matters. Well, here we have unlocking powerful insight like understanding complex data, predicting future trends, solving real problems, and building intelligent systems as one of you just mentioned. Yes, I think Salah want to build intelligent systems that can help him automate tasks and the rest of that. It also boosts your career. So those of you that are saying you want to get a job, and even those that want to get promotion in your workplace, so machine learning matters to you, right? So just one advice for, I know all of you want to get job, or you want to get promotion, or you want to improve your efficiency, right? So what will help you most with this is projects, right? So carrying out project will help you a lot in achieving this. And we have what we call the PPL sessions. These are sessions that are dedicated to showing you how you can build this project so that you can get the attention of an employer. Okay, Julia saying, want to help Arsenal fans from Arsenal fans from previous data, we can automate no leak for them. Okay. You are on your own on this. So I don't want Arsenal fans to be on my neck, right? You are on your own, but it's interesting. All right, all right. So what are the tools that you are going to use? One of them is Jupyter Notebooks. And we also have, so another, you can either use Jupyter Notebooks or you can use Jupyter Lab or you can use Google Colab. So for me, I'm Team Google Colab, and I know Shegun is Team Jupyter Notebooks. Both of them, they do similar things, but to me, why I prefer Google Colab is because it has a lot of features that are not available in Jupyter Notebooks. Although there's okay, so let me just leave it at that. Then we also have the Python libraries like the scikit-learn. So this is most especially useful for machine learning. Then not only that, we'll use the pandas and the NumPy. So this will help you with your data analytics, right? Then a bit of, okay. We also have the Google Colab, just as I mentioned. You have the pandas, you have the scikit-learn, and you can use the Microsoft Visual Studio Code. In this, you can run Jupyter Notebooks. So if you like VS Code, please use it. And if you like Jupyter Notebook, use it. If you like Colab, use it. Just choose the one that is good for you. What do you expect? Well, you are not going to expect something much different from your Python. So the knowledge pieces, the exercises, the knowledge questions, they are there. Then one graded assignment per week. So if you have 14 weeks, it means 14 graded assessments. Then we also will have code challenge. And by now, having taken Python, I know you are conversant with code challenge. The multiple choice questions, they will also be there. Then, well, is it possible to be expert of machine learning after this course? Well, it's not possible. So most of the things that you learn from the theory, and a lot will come from the practice. So it's not possible for you to be an expert after you finish this, but you'll be grounded in what machine learning is. So for you to be an expert, it will require a lot of dedication after the program and even during the program. So you look for extra resources. You need extra dedication to do projects. And this is how you become expert. Even then, after you graduate, you take on problems, participate in hackathons, do volunteer work. That's how you become master of the game. All right, so in the machine learning, starting from the supervised, we have steps to build a model. We have statistical learning, univariate, and all this analysis, you will get to see them when you start the program. Then you do what we call the preparing data for modeling. Like you do things like scaling, standardization, regularization. You also to get to see this when you enroll. Algorithm for regression models. So after you prepare your data, there's already pre-made algorithm that you need to feed in the data to, so that the algorithm will learn from the data. So how do you do that? You also learn that through this program. Then after you finish that, sometimes there's what we call parameters. So parameters, they are those numbers that you pass to the data before you start training the data. I mean the model or the algorithm. So those parameters that you pass before the training, we call them hyperparameters. There are also parameters, some parameters that the model will learn as a result of its interaction with the data. So those ones, they are called the parameters. So the kind of hyperparameters you pass to your data will help improve the performance of that data. So how do you do hyperparameter tuning? You also learn that during the course of this program. Then you also learn what we call the natural language processing, and you analyze text. So basic classification. So NLP was there before ChatGPT, right? So before ChatGPT, we have the NLP. So it is when they use deep learning to do the training, that's what gave birth to ChatGPT. So a lot of the things that you learn in NLP will also be helpful for those of you that want to go deep into LLMs, right? Basic classification and advanced classification. Then you come to what we, so for the first two, they are what we call the supervised learning. And even in the supervised learning, you have the classification and regression, all right? So the difference between them will be made clear to you, but just a quick one. You know, your data can be divided into two. It's either you have categorical or numerical. So this categorical, usually the categories, they are very few. So how can you predict a category? That is called classification. How can you predict continuous data? That is called regression. Then you have the unlabeled data. So that's when you do what we call the unsupervised learning. So here you do what we call dimensionality reduction, clustering, soft clustering, and recommender systems, right? So you all know Netflix, you all know YouTube. Even if you don't know Netflix, at least you know YouTube, right? So whenever you log into YouTube, you will see interesting videos. That is as a result of recommender systems. Eric is saying, hello, please remember to talk about those DE students who have not yet received any communication yet. Okay, we'll remember to do this. John is saying, I love using data and you know it can't lie. All right. Okay. Yes, data can't lie, but maybe I will have some reservations on this. If there is bias in the data, sometimes it may not give you the appropriate results. All right, Noel is saying it depends on the cleaning, exactly. So they used to say garbage in, garbage out, right? So if you go and pass wrong data for the analysis, you get wrong results. But in that case, do we say the data is the one that is doing the lying? Maybe not. So maybe this is debatable, but we can circle back on that. So type of the assessment, you all know them. The knowledge checks, those ones that you get at the end of each module, right? I mean, each lesson. So those ones, they are not graded. Then you have the MCQs. These ones, they are graded. They count towards your graduation. Then you have the code challenge. So the code challenge is also graded and it counts towards your graduation. So for the MCQ, you have one attempt to score. In your first attempt, you can score 100. Any other attempt that is not the first attempt, the maximum you can score is called 50%, right? So after the first attempt, the next 3 attempts, they are called supplementary attempts. And in this supplementary attempt, you stand the chance of scoring 50%. Then any other mark you get is called the practice score. So please try as much as possible to pass your assessment in the first attempt, or in the case you are not able to pass in your first attempt, try to pass in the subsequent 3, right? So you cannot pass more, I mean, you cannot get more than 50% after you miss your first chance. In the case of code challenge, you have unlimited attempts, right? So you can just keep submitting, So if you submit the first one, you get 50%, you can go and redo it, submit, get 70%. You can submit as long as the deadline is not exhausted, I mean, it's not passed, then you can have that. And once the deadline is gone, then you have supplementary attempts, which is capped as 50%. All right, so in the case of code challenge, the supplementary attempt is after the deadline. In that case, you can do it like 4 times in order to pass. So it's always good to do it before the deadline. As some of you mentioned that they want to keep with the deadline. All right, so these are some of the modules that are waiting for you, like the linear regression, the MLR, decision tree random forest, a lot of them, the dimensionality reduction, classification, all of this, you will learn them when you join. So quick one, I'll just show us how to carry out, okay, how to do this, what is it called? How to submit your code challenge. But if you have done Python, I don't think this should be something new to you. But if you have not, then all right. So if you are here And let's say you are on regression and you want to submit your code challenge. So let's check the one that is having code challenge. All right, so this is code challenge. So when you click this, clicking this, okay, why is it not opening? All right, so here you can see that I'm having supplementary test, meaning I have done this. I mean, the due date is 6th of January. So for this particular code, it was 6th of January and I wasn't able to submit then. So I think in order to show you this, okay, let me travel back in time. In your own account, you don't have this feature, but me, I have it, right? All right, so here, now you can see it says start test. So when you click this, you can do your start test and it will bring you here. Then here you can download your question. Then when you download your question, you can use Google Colab or the rest of that in order to what? In order to answer the assessment, right? So after you finish solving the challenge, then you come here where it says upload answers. So here you click this. So here I have some notebooks. Oh, am I not seeing this? Okay, let me upload this. I hope so when you do this, now the autograder will grade it automatically for you. And so from here you can check your report card. You can see here I scored 85%, right? Maybe I'm not happy with 85%. You know, some of us they are perfectionists, right? Some of us we are perfectionists. So if you are perfectionist, you want to score 100. So you are not happy with 80%. Then you can say, okay, you want to upload again, start tests, upload answers. Then here you say upload. Then maybe you come here, you upload, you say save. All right, so we can see our report card. So when you come here, you see here in this one, I score 100%. So your perfectionist mind is now settled. All right. All right, so okay, Adil is saying, please leave us this slide in an obvious place to find. Yeah, it's not easy to find links to this to slide and notebooks. Okay, I hope the community side of the team or part of the team will address this. Uba is saying, I know some of you are wishing you could time travel. Exactly. All right. To pass our future. Okay. Oh, Rufaro is saying, how many study hours did you recommend a week to be ready for the test and challenge? Okay, let's do some simple mathematics here. So here the recommended time is saying 150 hours. I remember we say what? So we say we have, okay, can somebody remember how many weeks we say ML will last? Anyone remembering in the chat? Let me see those that are following 15. Okay, let's say you have 14 assessments. So 150 divided by 14. Let's see. So you have, at least you should spend like 10 hours per week in order to be successful, right? And but this one, this one to me, it looks Like too simple. Like if you have 2 hours per day, in 5 days you are done. Okay. So, but anyways, maybe my recommendation. Okay, I have 10.7, so this is like 3 hours. Is that 3 hours? Maybe. Okay, let's say approximately 3 hours per day, right? Exactly. Okay, Mavis is saying I don't have access to machine learning yet. Yes, it's going to be available. I mean by next week, right? So for the purpose of time, I will hand you over to the next presenter. Back to you, Uber.
All right. Thank you very much, Buhari, for that. Sorry, my avatar decided to come in. So yeah, thank you very much for that deep dive, Buhari. Very exhaustive, and I'm sure learners are, have clarity on some of those questions they had coming in here. So without further ado, I'm gonna allow me share my screen for a minute, for a sec. If I may. Okay. So yeah, we have listened to Buhari walk us through what machine learning entails, and I think that was very comprehensive because he didn't just tell us what to expect in the machine learning track. He also, started by giving us some background as to what machine learning is really all about, and what the life cycle of a data scientist looks like, and you could see practically where everyone plays a role, whether you're data engineer, data scientist, data analyst, and what have you. So. Thanks again, Buhari, for that. And we're just going to move it on to the data engineering deep dive. And we have none other than Kayode, or Kayode, like someone likes to call him, who will be facilitating this segment of the session. So Kayode, over to you. And please drop your drum rolls, your waves for Kayode as he takes the mic from me now.
Hello, everyone. I was trying to master my guest minister pose. When they're introducing a guest minister, that's how they will pose like the main character. And then they start calling out his credentials. But Obasnachi did not do my praise singing properly. Obasnachi, I forgive you. Please, if you are not offended, kindly put on the slides for me before we go in. So the good news is from what Buhari showed us, he did an exhaustive work. Like he went all in. You can see that there are a lot of similarities between DE and machine learning. Who knows? Maybe that's why we're having the orientation going on at the same time. In fact, they are spending the same number of weeks, 15 weeks, 15 weeks. Yes. But I like to use this to troll my other team members. I tell them there is no machine learning, there is no data science, there is nothing. There's no data analysis. There's no field of data without the data engineer. In fact, there's some job descriptions that will say DS/DE, or you are employed as data scientist, but expect you to know data engineering. Why? Because you are the very foundation. Someone asks, does data lie? If the data you get or data working in it is wrong or biased, the only thing the data can do to you is just to lie to you. It has no other option. So the foundation is data engineering. And Rufaro, don't be confused. It's just simple. What we do, think of us as plumber. If you're a data engineer, you're definitely a plumber. We just make sure that data flows. Good data flows. It sounds simple, but when you're now working with big data, if you noticed, for those of you started from DA, Python, we will say, take this data set, take this data set. But when you're in data engineering, data is not just one folder or one file, it's like a river. That's why you see, as we go further, when we're looking at different modules, you see, we talk about big data architecture. So the fraud detection, your Netflix recommendation, all depends on the data engineer. So we are the pillar, the foundation, and like my teammates always say, always be nice to your data engineer. Everybody waits for you. So I hope I started seeing or started having interest in data engineering. Yes. And we maintain it because at times you do everything, you set up a good pipeline, but it still breaks in the middle of the night for whatever reason. You didn't do anything wrong. Your code is not wrong. Nothing is wrong. It breaks. And that's why I see we focus on data architecture so that when you're building your pipeline, you can think of any in case it occurs in the future. Okay, now moving on. So you've seen when it comes to our MCQs, like where I've said, you have 4 attempts. With the first one, the sky is the limit. Thank you very much, Julius. With the subsequent 3 attempts, 50% is the cap. Yes. And like I said, there are a lot of similarities. So I'll just go over the modules and the tools you will learn. So for those of you who are really curious, like I said, curiosity and well, I say, okay, there's something Bill Gates said that's always been misinterpreted. He said he loves working with lazy people because they like thinking of very smart ways to solve problems without stressing themselves. And last time I spoke about D, I was like, if you love to automate stuff, then you're a data engineer. So yeah, with those 2 sayings in mind, I leave you to jump into conclusions. So when we start the first module, we'll talk about big data. Yeah, in the big leagues now, guys. Yes, when your pipeline is flowing, your data scientist might need a file, a package file. Yes, you give it to them. What do they know? But now everything, you're the source, you're handling the river. They want piece by piece. Maybe they want a file to use to teach other data scientists or machine learning engineers and take, but you are the source. But you have to prepare for contingencies. So you have to understand big data, why it's a valuable business asset. You'll now be introduced to relational databases and schema design, but I know that most of us are kind of familiar with it by now. But it's really that schema design part. Because I remember some of the sessions I've been saying, the star schema is very efficient, very efficient. I know that for most of us, it flew over our heads. You see why I keep hammering on the efficiency of the star schema. And then we'll talk about our ETL pipeline, extracting data, transforming it, and loading it. And then we'll look at our data security, our data lineage and quality to make sure that our data does not lie and is not biased. And this will take us 2 weeks. Next, we have our data. We have to now to store our big data. If I start referring to our data now, everything we're talking about is big data, big data, big data. Because if we say data, I know most of us, our minds will go back to margin logo and those files and think we are playing with, we're in the big leagues now. How to retrieve it using APIs and JDBC and other transfer protocols. JDBCs just help us with relational databases. We dive into real-time ingestion. Ingestion is absorbing the data, streaming the data. I know we mentioned Netflix. It does not because I know I mentioned Netflix before, not just because we have a part of the mode that deals with streaming data, but remember we're dealing with a pool, a large river. Data life tables, pipeline orchestration, and processing our big data. So, like I said, I've been hammering on big data, big data, big data. But the thing is, we need specialized tools to handle our big data. For example, if the JDBC now, your Java database connectivity API is just so we are more efficient handling tabular data, but big tabular data. When we come to our data life tables, it's just to help us with our ETL pipeline so that we can just help us with our transformations using SQL and Python. And then as we go further, we'll see that truly, of a truth. Oh, how many of us still remember our sequel? I know we left sequel a while back. How many of us remember our sequel? Let me see your emojis if you still remember our sequel. You guys are laughing. So every time I kept saying repetition is the key to mastery. You guys are like, okay. I'm seeing Dorothy say something. Greek or Spanish. So yes, we are using, like I said, welcome to the big leagues. There's a reason why you did not start with data engineering before going to data analysis, or you did not start with Python before going to data analysis. We believe that if you've gotten to this stage, you are, will I say, an initiate now. Yes. So if in DA, when we start from problem solving, we start step by step using pseudocode. I tell you about lingo, start telling you about using tools. But now we are diving to the meat of it. Yes, Penelope, you are very, very correct. So using the acronyms, anything you don't understand, you can always ask questions. You can always check it out for yourself. But the thing is, in summary, like I said, don't mind all the big English. Once we go for it, I say that all the tools I'm calling, they are just to help us handle big data securely, quickly, and more efficiently. Just have this at the back of your head. That's all. We can't start using the Python we know or the SQL we know to retrieve data that is, let's just say that is massive. And the amount of time recommended for this is 60 hours. I know very few of us use that 60 hours, but like I'll say, as much as you can, go through the content on Athena, attend the sessions, and more than not, you are covered. Moving on. Now, we now talk about containers. Like I said, all the big the tools that sound like Spanish or Greek, no, it's just to help us. In fact, let me even simplify the sentence even more. Just to help us handle data or big data. So when it comes to Docker, what Docker does is there's a problem some of you experienced when you were doing, for those of you who did Python, or some people who have experience when they are doing the ML, you submit, or if you've done a code challenge where you submitted, your notebook is fine. But on the LMS, you get 0. It doesn't mark your notebook. Yes, this is the kind of problem containerization solves. Container is inside a container, so that, yes, at times the platform you're submitting your notebook to, you're trying to run an application on, it needs to be tweaked, it needs to be configured to your taste. But everybody uses everything, different devices. Some of us will be using this course using MacBooks, using Apple laptops, using Chrome. So containerization just makes sure that it works. This container makes sure that it works no matter the no matter the environment, it works. So I know you're seeing things like multi-service applications, container lifecycles. That's just the summary of what containerization does. And the tool using for containerization is Docker. The other tools, but we're using Docker for this particular module. And 90 hours is recommended. I'm smiling because I know you guys. We've come far together. I know you guys don't spend the 90, but as much as possible, I'll keep repeating. Please go to the content on Athena, attend your sessions, reach out if you are stuck. Yes, I see you laughing. Okay, moving on. Yes. So, like I mentioned, Airflow. It's not Greek, it's not Spanish. So you see something like you will learn about using tags and scheduling. Okay, let me see. Maybe I'll give somebody an award. Who can tell me what a tag is? Okay. Let me not keep us here. It's simple. It's just a directed acrylic graph. In summary, it's just big English for scheduling. You find out why we need to schedule. When there is a lot of data, trust me, scheduling comes in very, very handy. Are we still together? And the tool we used to learn that is Apache Airflow, just another tool. So relax. We see how we handle growing workflows. The data is flowing, it's becoming big, it's becoming big, company is growing, Netflix is sending more users. You need to make sure the data is flowing so you can recommend new movies for them. You need to know how to trigger and manage flows automatically. And then you know, okay, PySpark for speed. You think of PySpark, think of speed. Now to combine power tools for big jobs. And once again, 90 hours is recommended. I know all of you are going to spend this 90 hours. I know, I trust you guys. You guys are that serious. So, over. Thank you. The next one, like I mentioned, PySpark. If you see PySpark, just think of speed. Optimizing. Remember, even from SQL, we've been saying towards the end, you notice we'll start anyhow. We'll start with select all. But I started going further towards even when you got to at the end of data analysis, start talking about optimizing your queries. When I say the production environment, all those select all, if you try it anyhow in what you call it, you try it anyhow in this module or in this particular track, maybe by the time you finish your work, we finish the course. Yes, but the good thing is we have to like PySpark. When you see PySpark, don't worry about the big English. You're just talking about speed optimization. Are we still together? I hope we are still together. So the recommended time is 150 hours. Please, a round of applause for the recommended time, not for me, just for the recommended time. Clap for the recommended time. That's yes. All right, moving on, Uber. So, yeah, go to the next one, please. So, no, please, no, please. The thing is, if you are curious, which I suspect a lot of you, I know there are people who, okay, yeah, I want to, what you call it, I want to get a new job. I want to move on in my career. True, true. But there's something, yeah, I know. At a particular period, there was a hype, or there's still a hype for tech. You learn tech, you become a millionaire in 7 days. You go back and then you oppress all those who thought you would never make it. I understand. But this is where I get past now, because I remember when I received my mail, when I was accepted to train as a data engineer at the Explore AI Academy, and the mail began like this: today, your life changes. So there was a period when I was in school, and man, things were. And then I was the kind of person who, even courses or books that don't concern my field, I will still read them just for fun. And then when I went to the library and then I looked at books regarding computer science and then regarding other courses, I was like, yeah, no matter what I'm going through, even if I was to do everything all over again, I would still choose computer science. So even today, one or two people come, okay, even outside ALX, okay, be a mentor, okay, introduce this person to this, introduce person to that. I'm like, first of all, if you're not curious, you don't have the passion for it. When it gets tough, you will run away. You will run away. But if you're interested, when it gets tough, you take the punches with a smile, because you are chasing the real thing. It's good. It's good. It's good to learn all these things for money. Money is important. You need to eat. You need to wear clothes. You need to have a place to sleep. But I tell you, at the end of it all, yes, there are times where you should be practical. If this will pay you, this will help your career, good, go for it. But at the end of it all, at your core, as much as you can, when you can, go for where your heart is. So that when challenges come, you don't start blaming Shegun or Buhari or your village people. You take it in stride. before I start preaching to all of you. Back to where we were. 15 weeks, your MCQs, you have 15. If you pass 12, you are good to go. And I know, I'm going to say this out loud before I started talking. For you to get to this stage, if you pass through, if you started from D to this stage, there's no reason why 100% of you should not leave D, because everybody here, your head is very sharp. You know what to do. You are really smart. I don't have to teach you how to open a file, how to close a page, or how to connect my SQL Workbench to my Jupyter notebook. You've gotten to this stage. So I expect all of you to pass all the 15 assessments, and I expect a 100% graduation rate, or else I will search for all of you individually in your houses, no matter the country you live in, and I will visit you at night. That is a threat. See you during the course, and I wish you guys all the best. Thank you very much, guys. Cheers, everyone.
All right, guys. Now I'm scared. Kayode, you have a little scared. Okay, guys, so you don't want Kayode coming for you. Trust me, he has a way of doing that. But, but yeah, moving on. Thank you so much, Kayode, for that. And so the funny thing is, all of this may seem scary, frightening, especially with lingo and what have you. But trust me, when you go into the course proper, the course content, you begin to understand some of these. There was a time I didn't know what's there are a lot of ML concepts or lingos that I didn't know, but I'm very familiar with these lingos now because I've been able to take the data science program, and it's became more became my bread and butter or my day-to-day, and so they are no longer as frightening as they used to be. What am I saying in essence? Don't be scared, don't be worried, don't have all those headaches because of all the lingos and jargons that we have been mentioning in the data engineering segments of this session. Don't worry, you're going to get trained. Like Kaede rightly said, for you to be here, it means you're good. So there's something we have noticed, like we said, the data never lies. I mean, insofar, the data engineers do their work. So there's something we've realized, which is that the program has a way of sieving or sifting through the noise, in quotes, and getting to the nerds, the people that are really doing, the people who really have that grit, right, towards the tail end of it. And that's you, those of you who are here, those of you who are in either the machine learning or data engineering track. We begin to see improved performances. We begin to see a very nerdy cohort or a very nerdy class when we get to this point. What am I saying in essence? That you are here already means that you're capable of getting to the finish line, right? Fun fact, we had over 80% of the previous cohorts, that's cohorts 8, graduates from the machine learning track. What does that mean? As much as it seems like a much more complicated or complex track, people who find their way into that track tend to perform exceptionally well, because for them to have gotten to that point, they have the grades, they have what is required. And I can already tell it's going to be the same for the data engineering learners. So yeah, we're looking forward to what you guys are going to do and how you guys are going to excel in this track. Without further ado, I'm just going to move it on to a walkthrough on how you can enroll into the machine learning or data engineering track. Keep in mind, if when you started the journey, you enrolled for data science, what you will see is the machine learning track. If you enroll for data engineering, what you'll see is the data engineering track. But so as not to preempt the video you're about to watch, let's just get right into it.
I'm just going to do an intro of the demo and then.
Please confirm you can hear the video. Please confirm in the chat that you can hear the video. All right, cool.
I'll let you know when you can share your screen, and you will. All right, just a minute, please. All right, screen is coming up in 3, 2, 1, 0. Awesome. So currently, if you are a data analytics learner in ALX at the moment, this is what you're going to be seeing at the moment on your eHub, right? So this is what it looks like at the moment. You can confirm that. And if you are a data science learner, if you enrolled from the beginning of the program as a data science learner, this is also what you would be seeing on your eHub. So for data science learners, it's very easy. All you need to do is you'd see Python track, and you can just click on continue to continue to learning Python track. Just ensure that you are enrolled before the start date for course 7 Python. And then for data analytics learner, given that this is what you see on your screen, the question therefore is, where is Python here? How can I proceed? As we can see, a majority of us are already saying, yes, I'm going to go for Python. This Python, we're going to do this. We're going to do this, right? So, but where is Python now? How do I, enroll into Python? So I'm just going to let Wellington share his screen to walk you through that journey.
Okay, thank you, Bumi, for.
I'm just going to do an intro of the.
All right, so I decided to cut it there because the other half of the video is focused on how to, for those who are in data analytics and want to proceed to Python, how they can make that happen, which to a large extent doesn't really concern those of you here, right? You have already gone through the Python track. Everyone here, I presume, is either for machine learning or data engineering. Now, as much as the video was focused on how to enroll into the Python track, and what you're here for is machine learning or data engineering, it's a very similar process, and that's why we have still maintained this walkthrough, right? Especially for the machine learning learners. For data engineering, remember your first babies, and so subsequent cohorts will have that privilege of seeing what the process is like, which is still pretty much similar. So if you have successfully completed Python, you would see machine learning won't be grayed out anymore. So you can just click the continue button beside machine learning. For those who are enrolled for data science, you click the continue button, and then it takes you into the machine learning track, right? It's as simple as that, just like you had for Python in that video walkthrough. And then for data engineering as well, if you have completed the Python track, you'd also see the data engineering track available for you to click to continue into it, and it takes you into that track. Very simple. No need of the business of re-enrolling into data science or data engineering now. Then to answer those who have been asking questions around doing data science and data engineering, like Buhari has rightly said, please focus on your current specialization. If you're enrolled for data science, focus on the machine learning track. If you're enrolled for data engineering, focus on the data engineering track. And that's because both are running concurrently at the same time. Just like you have your orientation happening together, the PPLs, while they won't be happening together, but they will be happening just about the same time. So it means if you're shuffling between both, you'll be missing out on the PPLs or the learning webinars for either one, right? Also, the workload is intense. Trust me, you don't want to gamble with that. Our data again shows that people who tend to take multiple programs at the same time hardly graduate. And even over time, the rate of people who fail to graduate in that category of learners who tend to take a lot of courses at the same time keeps increasing. I think at the last check, we had over 80% of such learners fail. So while we're saying this is a very intensive program or course. And so it's important for you to focus on that particular specialization you're currently enrolled for. And then when you're done with it, you can then move on to the next. That said, let's walk you through what success looks like. And to be honest, for those who have attended previous orientation, this is just going to be a refresher. But for the first timers who are joining us, this is what success typically looks like, right? So in the ML/D track, what is success? Success for us is your ability to learn and grasp basic machine learning and data engineering concepts, depending on where you are, and build a strong foundation over time, and to be able to problem solve, right? Success for us is not building an end-to-end portfolio. While that's a nice to have, that's a nice to have accomplishment or achievement at the end of the track, but that's not what we term success, right? Success for us is just being able to grasp the foundational concepts in your respective specializations, right? And then build on that, and then take it a step further to begin to solve problems with that, right? And this is what success is not, because we know that a lot of you tend to, presume this is what success looks like. Success for us is not becoming an ML guru or a data engineering guru or expert in these 15 weeks, right? Or, begin to compare your skills to what the global standards or what level at which global experts are. No, this is more or less a preparatory phase of your journey as a machine learning expert or as a data engineering expert. And so we don't expect you to gain that absolute mastery or become that guru at the end of your 15 weeks of learning. No. Right, keep that in mind so you do not put pressure or unnecessary pressure on yourselves. That said, again, the winning mindset or winning formula is simple, right? Just like it was in Python, the machine learning and data engineering track is a marathon. I mean, I would even say Python was a breeze, 8 weeks, right? As much as it was indeed a marathon for a lot of us, right? But trust me, the machine learning and data engineering track are not those tracks where you blink your eye and it's over, like Python was. Nah, it's a whole marathon. And like you already know, you don't start a marathon at full speed. Otherwise, you're just going to gas out at some point. So what we expect you to do is to start with a steady pace, right? Start with a steady pace, build your rhythm over time as you move on within those 15 weeks of learning, and then focus on putting one foot in front of the other, right? What does that translate to? Completing your weekly deliverables, right? Just focus on what you have for that week. Get through it before thinking of the next, right? So one foot at a time, putting one foot in front of the other gradually. All right. Now, what will happen is that over the next 15 weeks of learning, your goal is primarily not to be the fastest. So there's no reward for, I think I said something about possibly getting rewarded for, your portfolios or projects which you showcase as the track goes on. But guess what? We do not reward, you'd never see us reward the fastest. Bishop, we don't even have a data points that lets us know who the fastest is, and that's because we're really not interested in that. Your goal is not to be the fastest, but to gather momentum. And how do you gather momentum? You do that by consistently moving forward, staying consistent, and getting to the finish line and crossing it. Some people get to the finish line, but they don't cross it. And our data shows us that. When you look at some of your colleagues or peers who started in Python track with you, the graduation requirements was 7 out of 9 assessments, And I'll kid you not by telling you that some people got 6 assessments, passed 6 assessments. I mean, when you pass 6 assessments, this is you, this is the finish line in front of you, right? But they didn't cross it, right? So why am I giving this scenario? It's very important for you to keep moving forward, sustain that momentum, keep moving forward, stay consistent, and overall cross that finish line. It's one thing to get to the finish line and gas out. It's another thing to actually get to the finish line and then cross it. And what does that look like? You successfully graduating, that is passing at least 12 out of the 15 assessments. All right. That said, I'm now going to hand it over to none other but our community specialist, who is going to walk us through or give us a refresher on what community looks like for us here in the data programs. All right. Join me in welcoming Irene. Please, drum rolls. I want to see your waves. I want to see your claps as Irene takes the mic from me. Over to you, Irene.
Καλώς ήρθατε and bienvenidos. This was Greek and Spanish for welcome, and welcome everyone. I actually researched on the Greek because, guys, I do not know modern Greek, but hey, now you know. So welcome everyone again, and welcome to this new track, the last track for you. And I hope that you are not yet too scared to join us and to join everybody of your peers into this new adventure. Believe me, people have done this before, and you can do it as well. This must be a way for you to cope with the imposter syndrome that maybe you have, saying, I do not know how I can do this, etc. Like, people have done this before, and you can do it as well. You have done this until now, and this is not the time to let it go. This is the time to push forward. So let's see how community can actually help you push forward. As you can know until now, until now, community is always there to help you, making your experience not just meaningful, but also impactful for everybody. So learn, grow, and collaborate. This is key for everyone who actually learns these kind of subjects, because nobody can actually make it on their own. There is always a time, there is always like space to collaborate. And actually, at the end of your journey, you will find that there are so many people that helped you in your journey. So we want to give you the space to actually support each other, and to actually support each other and to collaborate with each other. And as much as I will go on presenting you the community, I would like you to actually tell me what, as the community of your cohort, meant to you until now. What does your community of your cohort meant until now for you? Like in a word or two. Tell us in the comments if you want. In the meantime, we as part of our community, we always want to know about your progresses, because guess what? Whenever you make progresses, whenever you fail, whenever you learn, this is part of your journey, and your journey is unique. And as much as it's unique, it is also valuable to be told within your community, and if you want, also on social media. Why? Because while you are now building your professional profile also on social media, you will need to get visibility. You need to make your footprint stand out to potential employers, to your peers, etc. Because because as soon as you will step out in the career space and in job market, you are already going to start from a basis, from a foundation of a professional profile that you have built throughout these months. So whenever you feel like you don't have anything to speak about, think twice, because your experience is valuable and your experience is unique, and the way that you deal with challenges, with opportunities, tells a lot about the way that you are actually going to deal with a future job. So whenever you feel like you want to share with your community how things are going for you, and any insights, any motivation, any idea, etc., you can do it absolutely on our community space circle, and on social media using the hashtag live at ALX, the one that you see on the screen. So next one, as you have come to realize right now, community for us is home. Community for us is a shared space that we need all to protect, to cherish, to support, to uphold. So how do we do that? We do that by sharing the responsibility to keep it safe, to keep it inclusive, to keep it protected, and to keep it really a space where every one of you can actually learn and develop, and develop throughout their journey of professional educational development. So I hope that you will join me in acknowledge these simple guidelines. These are the community guidelines that will help us actually upholding these the standards of our community as a space where you actually want to go back to. Because I believe that whenever you go back home, you want to go back home to a place of calmness, to a place where your brain just calm down, because you know that you're safe. So what I'm saying is that you're going to feel the responsibility of keeping clean, of keeping tidy, of keeping welcoming for you and for your loved ones. So this is the same logic that we apply to our community, because we want this community to feel home. We want this community to feel like somewhere where you go back and where you want to go back, where you're happy to go back. So 4 simple values: respect. So respect all participants. So respect all participants. So respect everybody. You do not necessarily know who you have on the other side, and their story and their backgrounds. So please be sure. Please be sure that the language and the behavior that you adopt are always respectful, and always take into account what the other person can think or what the other person can say. A safe environment. Everybody has the right to for a safe and respectful environment. So again, please be mindful that one thing that I actually that someone told me before is that once you have spoken, a word is not yours anymore, but is of the other person that listens to it. So please be aware of the weight of your word, and the weight of your and the impact of your behaviors towards others. And please make sure to know that everybody and every actions of each of us actually weighs into how we can create and how we can nurture a safe environment for everybody. Please be patient as well when you request support. So for example, when you request support to staff or to peers, please be patient and knowing that, for example, for staff, if you post something, a question during the weekend, you may notice that we are not so prompt because we do not work in weekends. So if you really want a support of the staff, please be sure to post your questions during the week. And also with your peers, be sure to also practice patience for the reasons that I spoke before. And then whenever we set the rules, online and not, and in person in the house, please know that we set these rules to protect everybody, including you. So please cooperate with us in respecting these rules and in also reminding people about the rules of the space that you live. So I'm glad to see that Julius, for example, says, without community, I'm through. And so that's why we want to keep the community alive and well and safe and protected. Excel says, it has been a place to know I'm not alone. This is just so heartwarming to see the fact that I know that you understand absolutely your role and the impact, the positive impact that you can have when we're talking about community guidelines. So I know that we are not alone as staff to protect, in the mission to protect and to nurture this space as if it was our space. So let's go to the next one. Before we jump into the Q&A, I just want to tell you that in these days, now we are Monday, please know that you are going to see your respective spaces on Circle. So you're going to see your respective spaces Circle, and they are going to start coming up. So if you do not see them now, please do not panic. There is no reason to panic. It's something that will come up in these days. So we are now in orientation week, as you understood from the presentation that was done before. The orientation week is a week that precedes the week one of learning. So for now, we want you to get comfortable with all the material and with everything. So you have now participated in this particular orientation session. Then on Thursday, you're going to have another office hours to just if you have any questions, etc. So please do not panic if you don't have access to the Circle spaces right now. In this moment, you will get them. So thank you very much for your attention, and I will see you on Circle, and I will give space for the Q&A. I am sure that we will have a lot of questions.
All right, thanks so much, Irina. Okay, I'm just gonna move it on to Q&A, and of course we have the entire team here to take your questions. Whatever those questions or points of clarification are, please feel free to share them now. I think I see a couple of hands. Before we go to those hands, let me quickly oops, sorry. Yeah, a Q&A. Okay, let me quickly get to the Q&A and address some of the questions there. Then we'll take the hands. You'll see. Isn't AWS a must for DE practitioners? AWS is not a part of your DE curriculum. And no, it is not a must. It says, I'll throw this to Coyote to shed more light on it. But yeah, your DE curriculum does not entail AWS. And maybe Coyote, you want to touch in a bit more on that?
Yeah. Uba, you're correct about that. For this module, AWS is not coupled along with it. And if you have any setups, most likely they might be local, but you're not using AWS for this.
All right, awesome. Thank you, Coyote. Another question for you. I think you have a lot of your learners.
Yeah, so yeah, no Kafka.
Okay, Apache Kafka, no, we don't have that. Please, I'm not part of any Python group. How do I join ML WhatsApp group? Okay, I'm guessing by group you mean the spaces, the circle spaces. So I think Irene already touched on that. Do not panic yet. Those spaces are coming up, and you should be finding yourself in them any moment from now within this orientation week. As for WhatsApp groups, there are no WhatsApp groups for the program. So what you have, let me try to clear the air on that. what you have primarily for interaction with the program team and your peers is Circle, the spaces on eHub, right? So you'd have the program hub, you'd have the program announcement, and then you have your respective squad groups or squad spaces where you can, interact with your peers and also the program team, your technical mentors, and everyone else. So when it comes to WhatsApp group, those groups only exist with your assigned volunteer mentors, and that's something I'll quickly touch on. Right. So each of you, just as it was in the case of Python track, you would get assigned to volunteer mentors. For most part, it will be the same volunteer mentors who supported you in the Python track that you have just completed that will continue to support you in this machine learning track. And we'd also see how to, we'd also work our way around, getting that level of support or that layer of support for the DE learners as well. But your volunteer mentors will be the ones supporting you in these WhatsApp groups, right? So each of them would have a WhatsApp group where they get to reach you that they have been assigned, right? And these WhatsApp groups are within the data programs channel, WhatsApp channel. So it is not a thing for you to worry about. Once you're assigned your VMs, they will add you to the issue. I think for most parts, you're going to retain the same group where they supported you for the Python track. So let's not overthink that. But more specifically, Circle DMs, Circle Spaces is where you'd have program level interactions with either the program team or your peers. I hope that clarifies on that. I don't know if Irene wants to add to that as well.
No, I'm fine.
All righty. Okay, I see David's hand is still up. David, do you want to ask a question? While we bring up David. Hello, David. You had your hand up for a while. Do you have a question for us which we haven't already answered? Okay, if David is not there, I see Michael. Michael Jubile. Michael, you have the mic now. Hi, Michael. Do you have a question which we haven't already addressed? Okay, Michael is also not here. Okay, so let me try and respond to some of the common questions that I saw in the chat. I think for most parts, Kaide and Buhari have touched on why it's important to focus on one specialization, and then when you're done, you could then re-enroll and take the other, right? In terms of recommended time or timeline or pace, so you have, I think for machine learning, there are 3 modules. There's the regression module, there's the NLP and classification module, and then there's the unsupervised learning module. Each of those modules has a recommended time of 150 hours, and each of those modules span across 5 weeks. So when you do the maths, that means we expect, or what we recommend is that you dedicate at least 30 hours weekly to these modules, right? And that's the same thing for the data engineering track as well. The data engineering track is not evenly split like the machine learning track, in the sense that some modules are 2 weeks, some are 3 weeks, some are 5 weeks. However, still consistent with the 30 hours weekly commitment. I hope that clarifies on the questions around time. For those who are, I think there was a particular question I tried highlighting for the learners. Where is the chat? Where is the chat? So there was a question on comms for DE learners. If you're not getting comms, we'll look into that, but we believe for most part, for you to have been here, it means you must have received a orientation comms. But maybe you could either raise a ticket or reach out to any of the program team members. So we identify you and see why you are not receiving comms on the D program. Yeah, I have not received any D communication yet on email. What could be the problem? Okay, so perhaps reach out to us on eHub or raise a ticket using Fresh Desk, and we would see specifically why you are not receiving comms. I see you are here, so except maybe you got the link to join from somewhere else. But for most parts, if you have graduated or successfully completed the Python track, then you should have gotten comms to be here today. But yeah, again, we know that some things can fall into the cracks, so please reach out to us to treat your issue more specifically. Okay, I see. I'm happy and contented. I'm a DS graduate. Okay. A DS graduate. I'm guessing who enrolled for data engineering. Okay. Okay, now that explains that, Eric. No
Sorry,
trouble.
Sanji, sorry to interrupt you. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. Apologies to the anonymous attendee. Yes, Kafka is part of the modules. I'm sorry. Just had to correct that. Yeah.
Alrighty, thanks so much, Kaede, for that. So Eric, maybe reach out to us on eHub. Or if you don't already have access to this space, then raise a ticket or send an email to ALX data programs at alxafrica.com, and we'll take it from there to see how we can add it to our comms list. I think I now understand why you have that peculiar problem or issue. Okay. I want to believe I've addressed every question, all of the general questions. Just to reiterate, this week is a week of relaxation in the sense that you're not going to begin to interact with learning content. This week is just an orientation week for you to familiarize yourself with the different platforms or the platforms that you'll be engaging in this track, and just catch your breath from the last track, right? Because we know it was a very fast-paced Python track. So any questions on content, not seeing content yet, don't worry, by next week you'll begin to see your learning content on Athena. Okay. Recording will be made available after this. So just moving on, let's take a poll. And while we're at it, we're just gonna watch this interesting video. Right, John. Okay, we're just gonna launch the poll now, and right, so let us know if we have been able to address any questions you had coming into this new track. Okay, while we're at that, let's just see this interesting video. So sorry I had to do this. Please, let's as much as possible take the poll. We need your feedback to know how we can improve the experience for you in subsequent events. So please let us know how effective this event or this session was in answering your questions or getting you ready for the new track. Please, I see over 150. Oh, I think there are quite a number of you here. As of my last check, I know it was well over 150. So please, we want to see that also reflect in the polls. Okay, let's get back to Albert. Okay, guys, as much as I would have loved to keep that playing for you, but we're well over time. So we're just gonna wrap it up in a bit. So yeah, remember what the next steps are. Pretty much begin to opt in for the machine learning or data engineering track on eHub. We already showed you how to do that. Join us for our office hour on Thursday. And then lastly, we know there are a lot of, I mean, I was surprised I didn't see questions on certificates, but yeah, we know some of you are probably wondering. So yeah, you'll be getting your Python track certificates very soon. Expect to get that in the coming days. Okay, that said, remember your support channels are still pretty much there for you. AnswerBase for your technical content related questions. Leah or Fresh Desk for any general questions you may have or clarifications you may need, or issues that may be a blocker for you. And then lastly, the community spaces for your day-to-day comms with your peers and of course us, your program team. So yeah, thank you. I'm gonna leave you with this song as we wrap it up. I see the polls are increasing, but let's keep going on that.
Yeah, you can be the greatest, you can be the best. You can be the King Kong banging on your chest.
You could beat the world, you could beat the war. You could talk to God, go banging on his door.
You can throw your hands up, you can beat the clock. You can move a mountain, you can break rocks.
You could be a master, don't wait for luck. Dedicate yourself and you gon' find yourself
Standing in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
And the world's gonna know your name.
yeah,
'Cause you burn with the brightest flame.
yeah,
And the world's gonna know your name.
yeah.
And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame. You can go the distance, you can run the mile. You can walk straight through hell with a smile.
You could be the hero, you could get the gold. Breaking all the records they thought never could be broke.
Yeah, do it for your people, do it for your pride. And you're never gonna know if you never even try.
Do it for your country, do it for your name. 'Cause there's gonna be a day when you're
Standing in the Hall of Fame. And the world's gonna know your name. 'Cause you burn with the brightest flame. And the world's gonna know your name. And you'll be on the walls of the Hall of Fame.
Be a champion, be a champion, be a champion, be a champion.
Walls of the Hall of Fame. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions, be truth seekers. Be students, be teachers, be politicians, be preachers. Yeah. Be believers, be leaders, be astronauts, be champions. Standing